Hello. Okay, so it's 2:19 in the morning, but I wanted to come on here actually um, to just celebrate this moment in time and give honor and thanks to Cassie. If you guys don't know who Cassie is a musical artist, and I think she's also like a fashion girl. She does many different things, but she's been in the spotlight for me since I was a kid. The first song I ever heard from her was "Baby, tell me if you like it. It's me and you now. I've been waiting. Think I wanna make that move now." It was an iconic time when that song was like huge, and that video, and Long Way to Go. It's got a long way to go. You wanna no, Cassie's been that girl, and she's remained that girl throughout pretty much all of my life. Um, and this week, she came forward with um, her truth, and she stood her ground, and she really acted with such courage and bravery, really embodying that justice energy and that death energy in terms of putting an end to a cycle of silence and of oppression. And I just want to be a part of celebrating her because I think that we've had so many different waves of survivors coming forward and uprisings and, unity through the shared experience of sexual exploitation that happens here on this planet very often. And, um, and it's always a big deal. But this is a huge deal. And I just, and it's all happened so fast. And I only got wind of it because I saw my mom share something. And I didn't even know what had happened. I didn't learn about it until learning that she had won or settled, which just feels so good and so loaded of a conversation to have. But honestly, it's probably just quite simple, which is that this is a time to not only support and be very grateful for Cassie's safety and her survival and um, her celebration of life, and the fact that she is living and fully engaged in life and living out what seems to be a very happy and dream filled life beyond her trauma, um, beyond her trauma. And I'm very, very happy for her. I think that she has done something massive, not just for herself, but for the world. And I thought it would be nice to kind of maybe see if Spirit has a message around how Cassie is changing the world with what she's done, because I think that these types of situations need to be seen in that light, where this is groundbreaking. This is something that is going to shift us into a new energy when it comes to protection for uh, protection for people who are vulnerable, protection for artists, protection for women, protection against sexual violence, and addressing the way that sexual violence exists in so many different aspects of our world beyond just the music industry and beyond just Hollywood. Sexual violence and rape culture is a part of our system that we kind of all operate within, and in many ways, mostly unwillingly and unknowingly, we all have been witness to violence, and we all have probably engaged with uh, violators. And so, you know, having this conversation and being able to move into a space and being able to be witness to Cassie, who is a survivor, receiving the justice that she is owed um, is powerful, and for it to happen so quickly is powerful. And I know that obviously she was in that relationship for a very long time, and so in pain for a very long time, and I'm sure after the healing process it's always ongoing. But for her to speak up and put forward that case, and then the next and one day later for her to receive, what she deserves. I'm hoping it is exactly what she deserves in her highest and greatest light and good. I think that's really phenomenal and impacting and empowering. So I want to bring forward a really positive message, because I think that this is a very positive situation. We don't need to focus on we don't need to focus on any of that. We don't need to go into the details of any of that. It's not really any of our business, and it's not for us to worry about. We know that she is safe. We know that she is living a happy life as far as we can see, and that she's happy and that she's safe, and that's what there is to be focused on and joyful about. And this reading is not going to be about Cassie's life, boundaries. This reading is just about what this kind of energy means for the world, and what kind of positive impact her bravery is having on the collective as a whole, especially because this is something that's being spoken about. And I think it's right in timing with all of the revolutions that are happening around the world. Look at that. Justice. That's the card that came out. Justice, balance, and equality. It just feels like there is a profound wave and amount of healing that is coming out of this case, out of this lawsuit, out of her speaking up. It feels like order is being restored. It feels like a lot of healing, especially emotional healing, and kind of an awakening of the inner soul and the inner spirit, especially I wanted to say the Shekinah and the sacral. Oftentimes, I know that in my experience being a survivor, living openly as a survivor, sometimes I find that one of the revolving or healing circles that I tend to be on is around my sexual expression, and feeling comfortable with that, and beginning to get more comfortable with reclaiming the full spectrum of my sexual experience and my sexual expression, and not feeling limited to only being what is considered to be like the most pure or most innocent expression of sexuality, in order to protect myself from anything that could make an argument for the fact that I would deserve any type of sexual violence, or that there's something deviant about my sexuality that attracted violence towards me. I have to continuously on this road of healing that idea, that perception, and challenging it, and becoming more comfortable with all of who I am as a sexual being, and how that feeds into my art and into my confidence, and knowing that my sexuality is a part of my confidence, and knowing that that doesn't have anything to do with the violence that I experienced. It doesn't have anything to do with the trauma that I experienced. That's natural to me, and my sexuality is something that is innate to me, and is not something that was given to me or ushered in by anyone else, and something that could ever be taken from me by anyone else. It's something that I've always had within me, and it's precious and it's pure, and it's divine. And there is this kind of there's this precious goddess energy that I feel like is blessing this timeline, this experience for women, for survivors, for all who are speaking up for themselves. And I feel like there's this precious order over this situation, and I almost feel like it's the hand of like Kalima, like and that's what I wanted to say. It was like there's like this dark goddess energy, but it's really magnetic, and it's really powerful. It's really empowering. Yeah, definitely Emperor is a kind of energy that I feel here as well. How is Cassie changing the world? How has Cassie's bravery changed the world? We also have to do another check-in soon. I was watching my first Where Are We in the Revolution check-in, and I realized that it's just around the time to do another one. So we will be following up with that pretty soon. I thought about doing it tonight. I kind of have a lot of energy all of a sudden, but I think that I also should probably go to bed soon. So we'll see if we end up doing that tonight or not. We'll see. I kind of have the energy for it, but I don't know. This might be a short little reading. It doesn't really need to be very long at all anyways. Yeah, she just... Yeah, there's something suiting up. I think that this is just the beginning. And that doesn't mean that, like, this is just the beginning for Cassie. I think that she is on her own precious, protected path, and we're sending her all the love. All the love and all the protection and all of the just, like, peace. Peace of mind, peace of soul, peace of heart, body, life, and protection over her family and her love and her joy, and just, just fully in the divine's arms for the rest of her life, as well as for her children and her love, everything that's precious to her. But it just feels like this is just the beginning. It feels like there's going to be an uprise in people becoming empowered, people seeking out truth and beginning to understand where their resilience can take them, in terms of not just being resilient enough to continue to go through these same cycles, but to be resilient enough to break down the walls, break through the ceiling, break through that door, and go into another world completely resilient enough to get up and choose life again and never look back. There is this new life that is being brought into the collective energy, ushered in by Cassie, women, people like Cassie who are brave and who are speaking up and coming forward and using their power and communicating, speaking the truth, telling their stories. There's such immense power in telling your story, and that is something that we have gotten to witness this week, and I think it's something that's very beautiful. And what an incredible way to end such a powerful year with a lot of different energies. And there's a lot of scary things going on in the world, and it's really important that we all have boundaries with how much you are aware of. The things that are important will probably make their way to you whether you're scrolling online or not, so you don't really need to always be tapped in and know what's happening. I'm sure you'll find out one way or another what you need to find out about. But it's important that this kind of news is also things that we're seeing, the positive things where people are receiving justice, people are being heard, getting to tell their stories, and it's a happy ending. We have a happy ending here, which is something that we haven't really gotten in a while. So it's really, really beautiful, and I just want to, again, honor Cassie, thank her, congratulate her, honor all of these survivors out there, anyone who's been really affected by this story or not. Just recognizing, the beauty of growth that has happened here, and the sound of freedom and the sound of liberation. Cassie is a free woman. She's a liberated woman, and I think that that is something to really, really celebrate. It's really important that we acknowledge when we are free and when one of us has been freed, because we are all in this together ultimately, and we need to have each other's backs. So, yeah, I wanted to come on here and offer that as my little piece and sending out good energy to her and everyone who needs it. And yeah, so that's all. Have a good night.